Okay, so just one last shot. Everything is good and running. I did drive it, my usual standard test drive that I like to perform when I do engine rebuilds, and that's pretty much drive it 100 miles, make sure everything heats up good, no leaks, no lights, no issues. So all of that went well last night. Everything is all wrapped up. I just recharged the AC system, and it is good to go. As you can tell, there's just a shot of it running, all put back together. And I don't think I explained much. Obviously, I didn't start any type of documentation, pictures, filming, or anything from the beginning. But this was basically brought to me torn apart. The upper half intake was torn apart. Someone was in there trying to do some work already, and the block was intake, I think, had been off, and there was water in the block, and the pistons were locked to the cylinder wall, so on and so forth. So we had to basically tear it apart, go through what someone had already done, try to decipher all the missing bolts and pieces and stuff. But it's all back together, proper, correct, running, no issues. Now, if you liked some of this type of work, some of this documentation, basically engine rebuilds, repairs, I do have quite a bit of engines to put back together, and similar process from beginning to end. Maybe I'll be able to get a chance to gather more from the beginning of tearing it down and so on and so forth, and bringing them back to life. So, for example, and the place is a mess. Every time I finish one, it's just a big mess. So I've got to regroup, but I have this BMW to M57 diesel. The customer, again, similar situation, brought it to us here in in tubs. Basically, someone removed the engine, tore it all apart, and left him with nothing. Basically, this is what he got, just a torn down block. So he got a second one. We're gonna tear this part. I think we're not gonna touch the block. We are rebuilding the cylinder head, which I've got torn apart here. There's the head. It's already back from the machine shop. The aftermarket higher pressure springs are already installed, valve seals, so on and so forth. We are using the stock camshaft. So that's another basically rebuild and put back together into the car. This is one we have to figure out how it all goes together, because this is how he brought me his engine and pieces and exhaust and wires and hoses. So I have to figure out how that's all going to go back together in the car, because the diesels is not one that I work on all the time. But this is another engine one. This Hemi here has to be torn apart. This one I did do a video on. It's the one that had the rod knock. So that car is gone, fixed, the engine's been installed. But this one we're going to tear down and take it apart, fix it, get it back up to a good engine. Here I've got it's a VR6 out of my Corrado. That's going to be a full rebuild. And under there are quite a few others that some have been in videos that I know are salvageable, and then some are not. But let me know if you have interest in watching any of those be torn apart, what the problem is, rectified, be brought back to life. So obviously most of you guys know me and watch the channel for a lot of my diagnostic stuff that I show, that I try to present, and how I go about doing it with the scope and electrical testing and diags, all of that. But another thing that I do enjoy and like to do, and been doing it for a while, is, again, like I said, is engine building. Ever since I did my first one back in 2003, I've always had a passion for them, even before then, and that's why I did my first one. And ever since then, I've done a ton, whether it was a little bit on the performance side or just straight, back to factory specs. It's an enjoyment for me. So let me know, obviously, I guess, in the comments or whatnot. But that's it for this Escalade. Customer is going to be picking it up today. Everything is fine and good with it. And thank you for watching. It's just a small slideshow type of deal, but maybe we'll get some more coming. So that's it. Thank you for watching. Till the next time.